Oh, hey, we've got viewers. How about that? Hello, chat. Feel free to introduce yourself. As I don't know who you are, I just see two viewers. Scratch that. One viewer. Hello, everyone. I'm Wander. We're continuing our playthrough of IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad, Great Battles. We're doing specifically the Battle of Moscow module. We are Junior Lieutenant Vadim Stepanov of the 27th IAP, which is a fighter air regiment. And we were stationed at, if we go over here, we were stationed here at Migolovo Air Base, but we've been moved to Klin, which is a few kilometers away. Why have we moved to Klin? It's because the Germans have advanced and have overrun our positions. Want to go ahead and take us into the next phase of the battle? Man, whoever they got to act for these scenes, they must have had a lot of fun. Alright, Vasily, I want you to stand there and just scream for a bit. Yeah, city under siege. It is now the 14th of October, 1941. It's cloudy weather, clouds at 1600 meters, temperature's frigid negative 1 degrees Celsius. The barometer has, I think, climbed actually to 749 millimeters of mercury, winds to the northeast at 2 meters per second. So, there are two missions today, and they're all, would you look at that, they are all within, wow. I wonder if that's really it for our deep strikes for a while. That's great. If they stick us in an I-16, we don't have to worry about fuel anymore. That is fantastic. It's incredible. I love it. Oh, lo and behold, we are flying an I-16 next mission. Uh, oh, interesting. Junior Lieutenant Siganov, Skankov was transferred to a bomber squadron. Unusual. We're not on this first flight, so we're going to go ahead and let time pass. Hmm. Okay, so the flight came back. They managed to bag a bomber. So they managed to scratch a bomber, but we have a, yeah, damaged MiG-3. So if I were to check the unit HQ, actually, how many planes do we have to play with? Squadron's at relatively full strength, but yeah, okay, so that's going to be repaired tomorrow. That leaves the squadron with a total of 11 aircraft. I didn't realize they were running us so even between the I-16s and the MiGs. But yep, we'll be flying an I-16. We'll be the second in the flight of an all I-16. Okay, so they transferred him out of the MiG when that one went damaged. Alright. Well, without any further ado, let's get to the briefing screen. I'm curious to see how much further into the battle we will get with Vadim compared to good old Peter. May he rest in peace. If you're wondering why I keep looking off to the bottom left, that's just because that's where I've got my phone at the moment. My desk is a bit cluttered today. I was doing some homework. C'est la vie. Okay, here we go. Yes, we are following Leonid Semyolov. We are 2 in flight, taking off at 2:48 Moscow time. Target approach altitude 2,000 meters, so relatively low, relatively. So there's a bridge over this river here by Vysokovsk. 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 I'm pretty sure about that. Oh, interesting. A peat extraction plant. Sankovo. Actually, where's Megalovo? Oh, wow. It's completely in their hands now. They're going straight for Kalinin. Or Kalinin? Kalinin. Yeah, pretty sure about that. Kalinin. Anywho, all joking aside, here's the play. We're going to be taking off from Klin at bearing 83 for 10 kilometers. Make a right-hand bank for 230 for 7 kilometers. That's over the city itself, and climb to 2,000 meters. We'll proceed to waypoint 3, which is actually our target waypoint, the action point, at 2,000 kilometers. We'll be traveling 385 kilometers an hour. Okay, that's going to be rough for our I-16, but not impossible for us to do. When we're done, I guess we're going to egress southwest for some reason. For 223 for 4 kilometers, then back up to waypoint 5 for 9 kilometers and land. This will actually be a very short mission. I would say would be done in maybe half an hour, max. Probably less. For once, they've given us the range to where the I-16's fuel won't be an issue. We usually have in an I-16 about half the playtime as a MiG. So that's why we constantly had to keep turning around before. But now that the war has come to us, the I-16 will actually be able to shine. So that's exciting. Our gun convergence is set to 200. We've got 1,000 rounds of Shikas ammo and 180 rounds of Shivak cannons. It is unfortunately not winter yet, so I can't stick with the new sexy camos that I'd like to put on, such as the white winter camo. It makes me sad. The I-16s has some very cool camouflage. Well, in any case, we're as good as we're ever going to get, so I'm going to go ahead and get my hands and feet into the correct position. Okay, and let's get started. Okay, so before we get going, I need to refresh myself on the controls a little. The I-16 has no trim. I'm going to need to lower the flaps. I'm going to need to... Yeah, okay. Alright, flight's airborne. Start our right-hand bank. Okay, good. We're not getting overshot by 3, which is nice. I'm gonna lower our airspeed a little. Turn off our navigation lights. I'd be careful so we don't have boost mode up all the way. Lower that. We'll have to lower the RPM in a bit as well. So the formation is going to be right edge, so we're going to have to move over to the right in just a bit. I'm also going to lower the plane's RPM so we don't burn the engine out. I completely lost sight of 3, which makes me scared. We should be okay. We're far enough over to the left to the chance of collisions being low. Reduce throttle to get us higher up. Man, we've really climbed fast. This thing is shockingly agile when it's not carrying a bomb load. I like this plane. Once you get to know its quirks and you're not flying it too far out of its range. It's got a pretty powerful armament as well. I'm afraid we're blowing past our squadron leader here, or our flight leader here. Still don't see where 3 is. I'm gonna put us in a shallow right-hand bank and try to rejoin. Alright, we're already in the combat sector. Alright, so ground controllers, call sign Storm, we're call sign Stork, same as last time. Backing off the RPM a little bit more. I still think we need to climb. I don't know what happened to 3. I completely lost sight of them. I'm a fool. I didn't realize I had my flaps down this whole time. There's so many minute steps I needed to keep an eye on. I just completely forgot about it. Okay, boys and girls, this is the part where we just start patrolling for targets. See if the Germans decide to come out to play. Good news is we are well over Soviet territory, so if something goes wrong, we can just pull out our silks and we'll be home at the air base in like 15 minutes. Really, we're not that far away. Yeah, we're blowing past her flight lead a little. I don't mean to. It is pretty up here today, though. I'll say that much. Sun's out, sky is blue. It's beautiful, so are you, dear Prudence. No idea if that was in tune. Couldn't tell you. Where is 3? I really have no idea where he is. And it bothers me a lot, because that means we're down to 2/3 of our strength by default. And if we get jumped by something big, we're going to feel that lack of firepower. I didn't realize how much I missed flying until I actually got back into the cockpit. It's been a while. Oh, there you are, 3. Hello. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? We're taking too much of a bad position. We're going to loosen up a little. Alright, there we go. I didn't expect him on my... Oh, hang on. Is he cutting in? Need to maneuver through me, buddy? Go ahead. Oh, he's not. I see what he's doing. He's hanging, high left edge. Alright, alright. So we need to jockey back into our position in, just let the engine do its job. It's a powerful plane. I still don't quite know where the fuel gauge is on this thing, so I'm going to go hunting for it, or pull open a technical manual. I don't really want to do that at the moment. I think I'm giving it a little bit too much stick. Shoot. I lost track of oh, there they are. Is that 1 or is that 3? Let's assume that's 1, in which case we're going to fly very carefully. And assume that there's a plane somewhere on our left that we're not seeing. And if we can confirm that's 3, then we'll jockey past them, but until then... Yep, that was 1, that was a good guess. I kind of hope we get jumped. The I-16 is a very maneuverable fighter. I would love to show those 109s what they're messing with. Not fast, mind you, but maneuverable. If we can catch the 109s in a turn fight, we'll win without even trying. But honestly, I don't think the Germans are coming out to play. Ground spotters have picked up nothing. I haven't seen anything on the horizon, but I haven't been checking very much either, though. Had to wipe my hands there a little. Now I've got to correct back in formation. Yeah, nary a sign of the Germans. It's entirely possible they're just not coming out to play today. Ground spotters definitely haven't noticed anything. Well, in that case, this is a very good warm-up mission. Still, pays to be vigilant. We don't know what we'll run into out here. I swear I just saw a 4th plane out here. I think I was imagining it. Yeah, I think the skies are ours for today. At least right now. Pretty soon Storm will call us out, and we'll head to our egress, and then we'll turn back around for landing, and I'll make my approach along with one. That'll be it for our first sortie of the night. So far, we're doing pretty good time. It's only been about 20 minutes since the stream started. I'd say we spent a good 12 minutes of that in the air. Someday I'll get the formalities of formation flying down, but today is not that day. Be careful, I'm inching up on one. Yeah, they're just not calling us out yet, but there's nothing to shoot at either. It's just a patrol. These things happen. Yep, there we go. Okay, we're egressing. So we're gonna go ahead and follow one out. Breathing system's off, we're doing okay. Okay, Acacia's airbase is Clint's call sign, good to know. I'm gonna put on our navigation lights and follow one through. Engine overcooled, you're kidding me. Well, that's trouble. If the engine gets too cold, it can start to freeze on us, which is dangerous. It means we're going to swing wide of one. Begin our landing approach and try to warm the engine up. Gear is down, flaps at 100. We're going to go ahead and prepare for our landing approach. The problem is that the I-16 likes to balloon up. Okay, descend to landing at 190 kilometers an hour. We're currently at about 220. Alright. I'm going to keep extending out for a little while. Try to fight this plane so that way it doesn't climb off to oblivion. Alright, come on. Let's make our landing approach. And hope that we don't botch it. .200 kilometers an hour. We have permission to land. Get her lined up. Okay, we're lined up with the runway. Alright, Stork 2's landed. Let's get off the runway. The problem is that it's actually kind of hard to see the nose of this thing. That was a pretty good landing, though. I'm surprised. We didn't really bounce. We shuddered a little, and then we were set. I'm very proud of that. We landed pretty early in the runway too, so we actually have a fair amount of we've got a fair amount of airstrip to travel. We had a fair amount of airstrip to use as an emergency, so that's great. We did really good. I'm proud of ourselves here. I'm proud of me here, rather. No offense, viewers, but I'm the one with the hands on the stick and throttle. Strange that there's a PO2 here, or a PE2. This airbase does not have a bomber squadron as far as I know. Or maybe I'm wrong, who knows? I'll have to check the headquarters screen. Ooh, hang on, we're overcorrecting a little. Let's just sit her down, and we're through. Not bad for our first sortie of the night, if I don't say so myself. Yeah, the taxiway should be right up ahead. Yep, we're right on the money. Well, almost. While we do that, the rest of the squadron will be making its landing approaches. So we're all good. Looks like Raven Squadron, which went up to protect the same area we were at, found the bombers that were coming, so... Looks like there was action, but we just missed it by a couple of minutes. That's a shame. Easy there, Track IR. Easy, easy. Looks like the rest of the squadron's getting ready to land. Here, we'll stop here and finish the mission. I think that's good enough. Alright, in 35 minutes we've flown one sortie. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You're making good time. Alright. Checking the event log, yeah, we went in circles for a while and not much happened. Good stuff, good stuff. Hey! We just got the 1500 Rupel bonus for flying 5 sorties. Have we really only flown 5? Wow, I thought we did more. Yeah, and I checked. We're the only fighter squadron at Klin, so who knows, maybe it was in for maintenance or something. On to the next day. 15th. 15th October 1941. Heavy weather, clouds at 600 meters, temperature negative 1 degrees Celsius, barometric pressure has dropped to 730 millimeters of mercury, winds to the east at 5 meters per second. Ooh, this is a big flight. It's a bomber escort mission. Interesting. Where are we flying? We're flying 77 kilometers off to where we used to be at. Interesting. Interesting. Are we flying? Are we flying in support of Sturmovix? Who is at? Okay, it doesn't say what squadron is there at Rogachevo. Could be Sturmovix. Honestly, given the distance, I'd say Sturmovix. I don't think this is far enough for a straight bomber flight. But it does say bombers and not ground attack aircraft, so it might be PE-2s. That's interesting. We'll almost certainly run into somebody up here. The Germans have fighter squadrons all over the place. I'd hate to be down there at Vlasievo. That's where our old friends, the 62nd, is. Anyways, yeah, we're on the first flight of today, not on the second flight. This one will be a little bit longer, so I'm going to go ahead and take a second to use the restroom while I boot the mission up. So, I'm back. Alright, so here's the flight plan for today. We're taking off, heading directly to the action point. It's at bearing 313 for 77 kilometers. It's a relatively short hop. We're flying MiGs today, so that shouldn't be a problem. In fact, we are the last in flight. We are 6. Take off at 7:46 in the morning, so the sun's gonna be kind of low. Turbulence below clouds, great. Just fantastic. Yep, make 3. They want us to take the 50 cals out, 700 rounds of BS ammo. Ammo's converging at 200 meters. We've got 480 liters, which is overkill for this flight. Unfortunately, I can't really use the other skins, but man, they've got some really cool skins here. Like, look at this stuff. This is cool. They've got some neat... I like how there's a skin here from 1943, which is way past this fighter's prime, but there it is. Soviets didn't really have a standard schema for their aircraft when it came to markings or for paint. It was really kind of do as you will compared to the Germans, which were much more rigid. To, I suppose, the surprise of no one there. Anyways, let's get set up. Unlike the I-16, we have a closed canopy fighter here. We actually have trim, so that's great. So I'm going to go ahead and get us set up. Wow, look at that fog. Ooh, okay. The lighting engine just had a stroke. At the moment, what we're waiting for... I'm going to open up the canopy a little. What we're waiting for is for the bombers to fly overhead. The airbase and the squadron leader are communicating via flares, which is why you're seeing them everywhere. But the bombers themselves... Oh, there's the moon. Bombers themselves, I don't quite see yet. So right now we're just idling. What altitude are we acting at? We're acting at about 2,000 meters. Oh, hang on. Here we go. And we're going. Squadron splitting up, all falls to the left. Turn off the navigation lights once we get to altitude. We're going to engage the boost to climb. I do not advise engaging the boost, but we don't have much choice. Alright, we've come off a boost. We're still climbing. We're just about on the right bearing to head out. We're just still having to deal with the fact that our plane is slow. Raised our flaps since we're a bit too high for it to matter anymore. Okay, we're at 1,000 meters. We need to keep climbing to 2. With luck, we'll run into our squadron soonish. But I'll be honest, we kind of lost them, so we're probably trailing behind a ways. If we stay on the right path, we'll intercept them eventually. We're climbing real well. Plane's handling fine, so I'm pretty happy right now. Other than being a little bit lost. Really wish that they would add the where are you function from the original IL-2 way back in 2001, but beggars can't be choosers and all that. Okay, nearly to altitude. It's a little bit further. We seem to have trailed off to the left a little, so we're going to correct the bank. I unfortunately still do not have visual contact with our flight. Can only hope we run into them soon. Alright, start leveling off. Yeah, here we go. Are we putting out smoke? What is that? It's probably just engine exhaust, but I'm a bit paranoid. Yeah, it's just engine exhaust. We're okay. We're okay. We climbed a little bit too high, so I'm going to go ahead and descend to 2,000. Still having to fight this yaw. Okay, a little bit further down. Come on, boys, where are you? Might need to open up the canopy. We blow past them? No. We're moving at about the right airspeed. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Cover your ears. Oh, we're going too fast. Alright, forget that idea then. Shoot. Are we really traveling so fast that I can't? Yeah, we're traveling at, actually we're going a little bit faster than we should, so let's back off that. Oh, I thought I saw something. No, negative. We're off course again, so gotta correct. No sign of... Wait, hang on. Yes, there's the bombers. I don't know if you can see it, audience, but there's a couple of dots right between the gun sight and the vertical guide wire thing. We'll be closing up on them and our fighters soon. Now we have to be careful so that we don't blow right through the formation. So we're going to slow up a little. But otherwise, I think we're good. Yeah, I think those don't look like Sturmovix from here. Can't easily confirm from this distance. They might be PE2s. Yeah, I think I can make out the twin nacelles. Alright, yeah. Yeah, okay. So then where is our squadron? I saw them earlier and now I lost sight. They're not high above. Are they in front? Waggle our wings for the bombers. And let's go ahead and make a wide zigzag. Slow up our throttle a lot. Until we can positively identify where our squadron is, I don't want to get too far away. It's a big flight of bombers too, man. Holy cow. Looks like 12 planes almost? That's just about an entire squadron's worth. They must be throwing everything at these guys. Fighter 9 kilometers away to the southwest. Okay. Facing west now. Fighter southwest. Southwest. Alright, we're going to send you the bomber formation. Look for contacts. 6 kilometers southwest. We're facing north. Whatever it is coming from the bomber. 6 o'clock. Where? I don't see anything. One kilometer out from 3. I don't see 3. Hang on, something's happening. Here we go. Here we go, here we go. Looks like something's diving. The sun's on the glass. Somebody's going out. It's a yak. It's a MiG. It's a MiG. Hang on. Here we go. That guy might be down, actually. How about you? Six o'clock's clear. Yeah, there's definitely at the bomber stream. We have to get there as fast as possible. There's stuff going on back there, but it's not important. Whoa, hang on. Yeah, I think that's a German. No. I'm not sure. We need to get closer. I don't want to engage the boost, but we might have to. We're too far out. We might also want to up the RPM on the engine. Okay, that's much better. Okay, let's see what we got here. It looks like somebody just went down. Let's go after this guy right here. If that's a 109, it looks like it. Make flew in front. Where'd that 109 go? He reverses turn. Yep, all but confirmed that is hostile. Oh, look at him turn into me like that. That's interesting. Come on. Come on, notice me. Okay, I think we clipped him, but we need to do more. That got him, but he's not down yet. Come on. Come on. Still too low. That was a good hit, I saw that. I have to be careful about my airspeed. We're hitting him, but we're not doing anything useful. I'm worried we'll run out of ammo trying to run this guy down. Let's try to get it closer. Make sure our shots count rather than waste ammo. We've got him on the defensive pretty surely. Nobody's on us. I just want to close in a little bit further. Just to be sure. I want this next burst to be his last. Engage the boost, come on. Come on, just go down already. None of these are connecting. I have no idea what damage I've caused to his plane. Probably not very much at all. How long is he going to be able to maintain this? No good. Oh, I think we hit him. Not enough to put him down, but... Ooh, hang on. That was dangerous. Hey, Bob. Welcome to the stream. Or Quinn. Miraculously, our 6 o'clock is clear. It's just us versus this guy, but I just can't put him down. Come on. Stop maneuvering. I just can't get this guy to go down. I'm starting to get frustrated. My shooting's being affected. I just can't tag him. He just won't die. Engaging the boost. Let's try to get close. I think I scraped him there. That's a dead 109. Finally. Look at that. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, let's get out. God, all that shooting, and I just needed one really good burst. I need to... Hang on, I think I hear another 109. I can hear their whine. Am I on the defensive now? Sorry, I'll look at things when I'm not convinced I'm being killed at. Yeah, 6 kilometers away, north. 6 kilometers to the north. I swear I hear a 109 on me. I can hear that stupid noise they make. I don't see a target. I just know it's there. Have we been given the order to return to base? I haven't heard anything. We have to be careful, we're entering a lot of ground fire. I need to... Whoa, no kidding. Here we go. Jeez. That's intense. Somebody really wants us. Watch out for that guy. Let's just try to get above the clouds and outside of his effective engagement. can go fighter hunting when we're up here. We have to be careful, though. That means that Germans might try to drag us down into the defense net, and that's where we are, just waiting to die. Hang on, something's happening right on... No, that's flak. Did our squadron leave? I've got 0 information. Just says primary objective in progress. Yeah, this is when I really wish that there was a where are you function in this game, but there isn't one. Let's just try to climb back to 2,000 meters and identify where the bombers are. It's possible they left. If they did leave, then we're way, way far behind them. Some more flak. Germans are trying to bracket us, but they're not doing it while, right. Okay. Almost above the clouds. Six, that's us, saying there's a fighter southwest 10 kilometers out. That might be too far for it to matter. What does my pilot see that I physically do not? Because I don't see any plane. We're heading southeast, so it should be somewhere around. Nearly to 2,000 meters, let's just keep climbing. I think what we're going to do is we're gonna bug out. I think the squadron left. We're gonna bug out, we're gonna head to the next waypoint, which is the bomber airbase. Yeah, 10 kilometers out, it doesn't matter. We're gonna head to the bomber airfield, which is our next waypoint for the entire flight, and we're gonna hold there. And if we get the go-ahead, or if I hear from the radio that the rest of the squadron's already made it back to clean, then that's where we're going. But overall, not bad. My gunnery could use some work. I think I need to start using boost a lot more aggressively. But all in all, we seem to have made it through. At this point, we're back over Soviet lines. I'm going to make a soft right-hand bank. We're going to lower the RPM so we don't overclock the engine. There we go. Yeah, if it's 10 kilometers out, Vadim, it's not worth worrying about. Alright, we're going to bank left for bearing 116. 116, okay, okay. Oh, we seem to have descended a few hundred meters. We'll have to climb. Okay, we're good. Let's just climb now. So honestly, for being part of the bloodiest campaign in human history, this looks pretty tame. You were rude and scared them off. From the skies, the war is very different. We are not exactly on the ground. We have the privilege of safety from up here, relatively speaking. And we're also flying a fighter campaign. Fighters are... I don't know how much of the last campaign you saw, Quinn, but if you were watching the one where we were flying ground attack aircraft, we were getting shot at constantly. We had to, like half of those missions, we had to return to base with damaged aircraft, barely making it home. So we're actually kind of safer, I would say, in the fighter than we were in the Sturmovik by a country mile. So yeah, this isn't so bad. I swear I heard another engine noise than our own. Just now. Go inverted. Yeah, I don't see anybody. I swore I just heard somebody, though. Not a 109, it was another, it might be just our plane, I'm just still getting used to the way it sounds. Just correct back over to the left. Also, could you speak up a bit? I'm at John's and he's playing D&D and he's making things relatively noisy. Okay, I'll try to talk louder. Thanks for the heads up. Okay. But yeah, long story short, this campaign is going to be, I would say, generally safer than than the one we played last time. It'll probably be more interesting to the audience in that I've always felt that watching ground attack is hilariously boring, but watching a dogfight is interesting. Where playing ground attack is just constant terror at all times. But that terror doesn't translate over to you, so... The Battle of Stalingrad will be relatively safe. Oh no, Stalingrad's gonna be rough. We're gonna be dealing with 109 F4s and all kinds of nasty stuff. Yeah, we'll be to point 3 soonish. After that, it's just a quick detour back to clean, and we're done with the second mission of the night. So all in all, we've done pretty good so far. First sortie of the night was pretty boring. It was just a patrol on the I-16, and we didn't run into anybody. No Germans came out. I wonder how much ammunition we have left at this point. Probably a few, maybe like 200-ish rounds. I'm not entirely sure how many bullets we fired. But I'm proud that we were able to get one of those guys. We were lucky. We got into the kind of fight that we wanted him to get into. If he'd gone vertical or tried to play an energy battle, I probably would have lost. Alright, so the squadron just got called back to point 4, so we're going to deviate over there. So point 4 is at 249. Okay. We'll descend to about 500 meters to get below this cloud. Just gentle descent. Yeah, the advertisement stuff I'm sorry about. You really should consider putting an ad blocker on, because it does seem to stop it on my home computer at least. Keep descending. We'll be out of the clouds soon. It's funny, why does the plane want to keep banking right? Why are we climbing? That's the other good question of the day. Alright, let's just force her down. Come on, descend. Okay, there we go. We're below the clouds, finally. Alright, we need to jockey over to 249. Yeah, 249. Then we'll be on the landing approach. Alright, we're good. We'll play trim. Only problem is that at this altitude we'll be dealing with turbulence. What we'll have to do. We'll be okay. We're moving pretty fast. It's not going to affect us severely. Okay, it looks like we actually have to deviate to our left, pretty much straight south to get back on course. Yeah, peaceful morning flights are nice. After the hecticness of the actual combat flight, this is nice. Alright, so Klin is somewhere to our left right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready for that. Should be on approach right now. Yes, I think I see the runway. Let's turn on the landing lights because of the fog. Yes, that should be it right in front of us. I think I can see it. Yep. Alright. Let's put her down. Alright, that was pretty bouncy, but I think we've avoided the ground loop, which is good. Yeah, okay. It was a bit sloppy, but we're alright. Okay, we're okay. Okay, alright. So, we haven't technically gotten the rest of the squadron to land yet, so we're going to go ahead and put the plane into parking. and wait for them to show up, and then we'll back out, which gives us a chance to watch the rest of the squadron land. That is kind of neat. We don't get to do that very often. I can take questions from chat, which is also nice. Let me just make sure we're aligned down the runway correctly. Yeah, unlike the I-16, this does not have individual left-right toe brakes. It's funny, for a plane that's more advanced than the I-16 in practically every way, it does not have that ability. We're nearly across the runway. Hang on. I will read your question as soon as I can get this thing to perform adequately. Okay, okay. Nearly home. I'll answer your question in just a second, Quinn. But for now, I have to keep this thing from freaking out. And that is kind of difficult. This plane is kind of unruly. It's wonderful, but a bit unruly. Alright, we're gonna put her in a park. Just gonna let her just roll over to the right onto the grass. Alright, let's let the engine shut down. So, what is the flight capacity of the Swallow? Well, that depends. Is it for a combat load, or is it an acrobatic load? You know, honestly, I don't have a very good answer for you for the flight capacity of Swallow. I imagine it's like the flight capacity of most other birds of its size, except when working together with a piece of twine, it can carry a coconut. Alright. Oh, we can freely finish the mission, so let's go ahead and do that. The rest of the squadron will land in their own time. The correct answer is African or European swallow. This is true. Alright. In a 40-minute flight, we managed to kill one BF-109. Let's check the event log. Let's see what happened. Looks like a 109 destroyed some searchlights. That's curious. Hang on. Something going on in texts. Okay. Not gonna try to pronounce that name. Let's see. Okay, so a MiG was shot down. Uh-oh. A PE-2 was shot down. An I-16. Lost some craft from our flight then. We did manage to kill R-109. We managed to bomb a searchlight. Searchlight. I guess the bombers mainly were just hitting industrial stuff not marked on our map. We'll have to see what the final squadron tally is and see how we came off of it. Hopefully well, but you never know. It's war after all. Casualties happen. Deaths pile up. Hello. Order of the Red Star. Order of the Red Star was awarded to soldiers of the Soviet Army. Statute. Doesn't say what it's awarded for. Just, oh hey, we got a 1,000 ruble bonus for killing an aircraft. Well, I'll take that. Ooh. Oh hey, he survived. That's great. His MiG's gone. How did he manage? Your plane went down in German territory, didn't it? Or was it over Soviet lines? Either way, he should count himself lucky that he wasn't captured. Looks like we're the only ones to walk away with a kill, too. Alright. AI is going to have their flight of the day. Looks like they managed to get off without much problems. Alright, alright. Let's go on to the next day. 16th of October. Okay, 16th. Temperature has dropped a whole degree. Average weather, clouds at 900 meters. Barometer has climbed up to 741 millimeters mercury. Winds to the east at 1 meters per second. So a little bit less hectic today. And another bomber escort mission. And then a river crossing attack. Ooh, we're busy today. Given the amount of time that'll go into this, this will probably be our last two flights of the night, and after that we might transition over to Arma for a bit or something. So let's see. The first flight is to Kalinin. Holy cow, we are going deep in on that one, all the way to Riev. It's 143 kilometers. That's tremendous. Why would they schedule us to fly that far out? Ah, boy, oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna be a long one then. Alright, well, the sooner we get airborne, the sooner we can land, the sooner I can go airborne again, and the sooner I can land again. If you're curious, I have coffee in this thermos, and I have water in the water bottles, or in the water cans. Anywho, so let's see. We are third in flight, taking off at 0830. No turbulence, that's good. So we're going to be waiting for the bombers. Head up to the action point at 313 for 79 kilometers. We'll probably run into more fighter craft. Then point 3 is our egress. Hope the bombers land. That's at 117 for 93 kilometers. And then, yeah. Okay, pretty standard fare. It's almost identical to what we just did. And hopefully a little bit less sloppy gunnery on my part. Anyways. There's no fog this morning, that's good. There's no fog. Where are the bombers anyways? Let's close up and get ready to go. Alright, let's go. Alright. Up we go. We'll be at our intended altitude soonish. Alright, we're nearly to altitude. We're gonna have to rejoin up with our group. This would be the time for All-Star to start slowly playing the distance, but rapidly growing louder. Sure. I'm not sure what it would signify, but you could do that. Knock yourself out. By the way, one of the last big projects I want to do this summer is go through all the stream archives for our first campaign and upload each of the individual sorties up onto YouTube. Just have a episodic list, so instead of having to go through all the streams if you wanted to see one particular thing, the playlist would be there. So I think I'm going to start looking into doing that as the time goes on. Anyways, we made it to our target altitude, so now it's just an issue of finding the bombers. We're a little bit off to the right, so we're going to have to deviate over. You see a rough man shape flying through the skies? Yeah, I don't know, that's when I start going evasive. Oh, I should lower the RPM. Hang on. The yaw's messed up. We banked too far over to the right because of that. Hang on. Aha. That is an aircraft. I couldn't tell you what kind of aircraft it is, but it's an aircraft. That's the best indication we've had in a while as to where our friends are, so let's navigate over to it. Yep, okay. We're on effectively an intercept course. It's traveling... Oh, hang on. Hello. Yep, there's the rest of the squadron, I guess. Still trying to reform. Huh. Now, they said in one of the more recent patches, like the one that came out, I think, on Tuesday, they improved formation flying, but I'm not so sure about that yet. You'll have to see. Right now, we're just kind of, I guess, holding formation. I don't actually see the things we're supposed to be escorting, but they're below us somewhere. Yeah, I think we pulled too far ahead of the squadron. Just let them slide up. Okay, nearly to the target area. Haven't heard anything on radio saying that we're under attack, so I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's just doing a formation zigzag like I did. Raven Squadron isn't us, it's another squadron of fighter aircraft in the area. Looks like they're making a mess of things though. Nice job, guys. There's the rest of the squadron, okay. Not the squadron, the flight. We're a 6 or 7 ship flight. But, I don't actually know what the bombers are. Seem to have gotten a bit split up. Which... oh dear. Okay, let's slow down before we cause an accident. We got fighters, 3 kilometers away to the north. Hawk squadron's getting in. I don't see any fighters. I don't see anything. Got friendlies behind us. Reverse our turn to slide in with them so we're not going into this blind. The rest of the squadron doesn't seem to have noticed or engaged. Oh, there we go. There's the bombers beneath us. I don't see any air contacts in the bomber stream, which is good. It means that they're okay. This time I'm going to try not to stray too far away from them. They deserve my attention, and not getting caught up in any personal brouhahas is generally good. Look at all this flak, man. I just realized, why are you in Stalingrad if you're at Moscow? I'm not in Stalingrad, I'm in Moscow. Why? Did I say something about Stalingrad? I mean, I did when I was talking about if we ever make it to Stalingrad, the situation's going to be different, because we have to deal with more advanced Germans, but, no, we're still defending the skies over Moscow at the moment. No 109s to be seen. Raven Squadron's getting involved with somebody. 109s are nowhere to be found. I guess they haven't come up to play. The category in stream says IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad. It does not have the individual module names. So it just goes with the original name, which is Battle of Stalingrad. That was the first module that came out. Then came Moscow about a year later, and about a year after that came Kuban. Later this year they're going to have Bodenplatte, which is a Western Front expansion, as well as Flying Circus Volume 1, probably, and Tank Crew, which is the ground expansion. It's been a busy couple of years for 1C Maddox. I'm very impressed with the amount of work they put in. There's still a lot that I wish the game would do, but doesn't mean I can't, you know, be a little bit wowed by what we have. Yeah, those 109s never came up to fight us, which makes me worried about the bombers beneath us. A lot of ground fire down there. Who are they shooting at? Fighter 5 kilometers away to the north. Not seeing it, whatever it is. Must be too far beneath. But yeah, long story short, the Twitch category is off. There's not much I can really do about that, though. I'd like for them to update it to say Great Battles or something, eventually, to prevent confusion, but that seems unlikely at this point. I lost sight of everyone. I don't know where the squadron ran off to. Hang on. There they are. We came too far to the left, so let's go ahead and swing around. Are they... what are they doing? Are they egressing? Yeah, they're egressing. We're really not planning on staying around to help the bombers, guys? Where are the bombers? There's not really much I can do about the sun in our eyes, unfortunately. Just hope we don't lose the squadron as we climb. This is disappointing. I was kind of hoping we'd get jumped by something, but everything that jumped us jumped the bombers, and I guess ran off. A bunch of cowards. In a way, it's kind of our own fault for having the bomber flights so low. But, I don't know. You know, Dogfight should have more boarding actions. You know, I have a game that you might be interested in, Quinn. It's called Pulsar Lost Colony. It's a Star Trekian bridge simulator. It's very fun, and yes, you can board any ship trying to kill you. This is, however, not always recommended. Boarding fighter planes would be funnier. Yeah, it would be. I'm not quite sure how it would work. There's like a grappling hook or something, who knows. Yeah, I guess the Germans really weren't too interested in messing with us today. That's kind of a shame. Hopefully, there were no damage to any of the squadron planes, because if they stick us in an I-16 for the next mission, we're just not going to fly it. They just don't have the fuel capacity. Yeah, I didn't see a single German fighter. That's disappointing. Oh well, oh well. We're still alive, and that's what matters. We're going a little bit too fast there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's stream a lot. I was enjoying playing through Ace Combat 4. Hopefully we can finish it tomorrow, but no promises. What about King Combat? No idea. And before you ask, no, I don't know how King Crimson works. We're also getting pretty close to the end of Stalker as well, which is great. I'm glad to see that game nearly done. Spent a lot of time in it, but starting to get antsy and I kind of want to move on to something else, so the sooner we can knock that out, the sooner we can try something different. I was thinking, actually, and don't quote me on this, I was thinking we might actually start playing the original Dark Souls when we're done with Stalker. Yeah, the dank sauce. I make no promises over any kind of competence on my behalf, but I've always wanted to beat it, and being on stream has... So far, being on stream has dramatically increased my ability to complete things that normally I would just let sit. So there's a good chance I might be able to finally play through all of the 3 games over the course of the next couple of months. But yeah, my plan is for Sundays, finish Stalker, probably play Dark Souls 1, go to the second Stalker game, finish that, then go to Dark Souls 2, and something like that. Now, the plan might change, I'm not super sure, but that's my tentative schedule. And then for Saturdays, I'm thinking we finish the original 3 Ace Combat games for the PlayStation 2, so that'd be 4, 5, and 0. And then after that, I think I might actually play through the original Call of Duty, its expansion pack in Call of Duty 2. So that could be fun. I might bounce back and forth between them, I'm not super sure. The original Call of Duty is a much longer game than than Ace Combat 1 or 4, and it's also a little bit harder to set up given its age. So we will have to see how that goes. And before you ask, we'd play the original Call of Duty on Hardened, because I'm not a sadist, and Call of Duty 2 on Veteran, because that's the way it was meant to be played. Playing the original Call of Duty on Veteran is a death wish. I have done it. I've tried to beat it. I never have. I'm not convinced as to its possibility. It's just... We're too tight in this formation. I'm going to deviate left. Why not Halo Combat Evolved SPV3? You know, I could do that. Did they actually finish it all the way through? Because the last time I looked into the mod, it was still only halfway done. They hadn't gone to the Flood yet. Did they fix that? Is that done? Like, done? It's done all the way? Okay, yeah. I could see myself playing SPV3. That'd actually be a lot of fun. I tried it. It was very difficult. But I could see myself playing it on Heroic. Although I think they made Heroic the new normal, so it might be Legendary. I'm not... Or Legend. I don't remember Halo difficulties anymore. It's just kind of faded. I watched the playthrough the other day. Okay, cool. Don't spoil it for me. The only mission I actually finished all the way through was Pillar of Autumn, the first one. And I know that they added a ton to Pillar of Autumn. It's effectively a different game. One of the hardest challenges you can really do in Halo is try to stick with UNSC weapons. It's so difficult. Or worse, try to stick with the guns that you start the mission with. Oh, that reminds me, I could try to play Marathon on stream as well. That would be fun. I really like Marathon and its sequels. And if I could find a way to stream off of my laptop or get it running on my PC, I could play the old macOS Bungie game, Pathways Out into Darkness, which is a fantastic game. I love that game to death. But I'd have to figure out how to get that working. And I'd rather not stream off my laptop if I don't have to, but it seems like it runs natively only on Mac. To be fair, so did Marathon, but they ported that over too, so who knows. Yeah, fun fact for those who didn't know. Bungie got itself on the map by making games for Mac exclusives, not PC. Hang on. I always try to keep all my Marines alive on Legendary, excluding those times when it was just impossible. Yeah, there's a few times where it just really is not possible. 343 Guilty Spark. At the very end, once you have the Marines and you're leaving, that's pretty rough. I'm trying to remember. I think that was the last mission you really had Marine companions. I don't think you had any for... You definitely didn't have any for the library. I don't think you had any for 2 betrayals, unless I'm misremembering. I don't remember anything for Keys, and I don't remember anything for the Maw. So I think 343 Guilty Spark is the last time you see friendly Marines in Halo. Or at least in Combat Evolved. Man, we are just slingshotting past our squadron. We have to be a bit more careful. Hang on, I'll get to what you're saying, because I saw Destiny and I know what to talk about now, because that reminded me. But I need to not crash into people. Have to wait for Destiny 3 now. Pillar of Autumn on... Okay. Actually, Quinn, I don't know if you've heard the news, but you don't have to wait for Destiny 3. Because Destiny 2 is going free-to-play. Starting September 17th. The base game, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, all of that stuff will be free. You'll be able to go to the stuff introduced with Forsaken, like the planets, do the strikes, do the maps, the multiplayer maps that came with it. You'll be able to do Gambit and all that, and you'll be able to go to the maps, introduce the new expansion pack coming out in September as well, called Shadowkeep. And if you want to play like the exotic quests and the story missions and all that, you'll have to buy it. But yeah, the base game is coming to Steam with cross save for free. So that's exciting. I'd like to start playing Destiny 2 on stream a little as well for just like cooldowns or variety nights or whatever. The only problem is that the expansion packs you have to buy on every platform you want to play it on. And yeah, I don't need to tell you how that'll rack up in cost fast. So hopefully, I'll make a affiliate on Twitch and start getting money. That'd be really nice. I would like to have money. I could buy all of the flight sim stuff and Destiny expansions I could ever want. That would make me a very happy man. But can I go to the theme park and get a cool hat? I mean, yeah, you can always talk to Tess at Eververse and get a cool hat, which I think is close enough to what you're talking about. Sweet God, have we really not gone there yet? I meant the Leviathan. Yes, the Leviathan is open for you to play on, including all of the other Year 1 raids. So that'd be Eater of Worlds and Spire of Stars. They're completely open for you to play on, for free. The stuff that, as far as I know, is definitely locked behind content, paywall, is the Forsaken campaign, the raid that came with Forsaken, which was Last Wish, all of the exotic quests, and then from the Year 2 annual pass, I believe the raid from Black Armory, the raid from Season of Opulence, and maybe the Reckoning from Season of the Drifter. I think... Oh, and the exotic quest for all three. But I think beyond that, everything from Year 2 is open for free, and then for Shadowkeep, you can go to the new map, which is the moon. We're going back to the moon. That's exciting. But you can go to the moon, you can do whatever strikes come with Shadowkeep, you can do whatever Crucible maps come with Shadowkeep with no charge. You could even, yeah, you can go patrol the moon and do bounties, but you can't do the story missions that come with Shadowkeep. You can't do the raid that comes with Shadowkeep. You can't do any exotic quests. And they haven't talked much about what the season pass for this year is going to look like either. Evidently, they're going for an a la carte system. So, like, if you want to have a season, like, if you just want to buy access to a season, you can just buy access to that season specifically and just skip others that you're not interested in. But at the moment, I don't have very firm details on that, other than what they've said. I think the squadron started descending. And for what platforms again? All of them. Everyone. PC. Explicitly on PC, we're talking Google Stadia and Steam. PlayStation and Xbox One, and there's cross-save. You pick one account that you want to use on all of them, and you can just pick it up and play it on whatever platform you want. It is great, and they're hoping to add cross-play at some point in the future. But for now, it's just cross-save. If they ever add cross-play, I might just move explicitly only over to PC. Which would save me a lot of money. But yeah, I think the only platform that Destiny 2 is not on right now is the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so Stork, our flight's landing already. We've definitely lagged behind. It's an exciting time to be a Destiny fan. It really is. I'm really glad. Uh, I don't think anybody should have been surprised, and I don't think I should have been surprised, but Bungie breaking away from Activision really was a fantastic move for the game and for Bungie as a company. So yeah, I've got high hopes for what the future has. I've got very high hopes. I mean, Shadowkeep looks interesting. You've got the whole gist of it is that Eris Morn is back. She did a bad, and basically undead versions of enemies we've killed for the past 5 years are showing up again as like demonic spirits. So there's like a, a resurrected version of Gaul. There's a resurrected version of Crota, which is terrifying. People have seen Tanyx in Skolas and the Gate Lord from the original campaign. I mean, there's a lot coming, and it's just all very exciting. I'm very happy. Eris is back, so that's nice. I missed Eris. We're probably going to be going toe-to-toe with Savathun. The raid is in the Black Garden. That is tight. Gary is coming and he will have Zavala's face. I mean, there's a non-zero. I think my favorite suggestion for a nightmare that you have to fight, I think they're called nightmares, is just an unkillable version of Cade chasing you down with a golden gun. You're just saying, hey buddy, it's nice to see you again. It's been a while since you let me die. And just hunting you down, tormenting you. I think if they had something like that, that'd be great. Just an evil version of Cade 6 mocking you for your failure to save his life as he tries to kill you. That would be that is the correct amount of evil, and I'm glad for once in my life I'm glad that the Destiny Reddit exists. Anyways, let's try a very risky landing. Alright, we're good. Oof, it's not a nightmare, it's just actually just Cade messing with you. Yeah, it's non-zero of that, man. Alright, checking the event log. Looks like we managed to knock some stuff down. How did a machine gun kill that? It looks like the bombers did their job. We didn't lose anybody. That's good. Alright, good sortie. He knows you are immortal, so he just doesn't hold back. Maybe. Ah, jeez. Yep, pretty boring fly. Ah, boy, oh boy. Oh, no, they got us in an I-16. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip this one. How are we going to skip it? We're going to boot up the mission and then immediately exit it. It'll count as a fail, but the I-16 just can't fly the distance that they're about to ask us to fly. I was really hoping they would not make us do that. I was talking with Owen about it, and honestly, I think I have a problem with more than just Destiny's story lore, Halo's as well. I think I just have a problem with Bungie storytelling. I think that's fair. Bungie is not perfect. They do a lot of things right, but they do kind of have their own tropes. Wow, it won't even let me... Yeah, there we go. Finish the mission. Forget it. Watch, we get shot for being a coward or something. We will find out. Mission failed. What's the penalty for not flying? If we get shot, I'm gonna laugh. Okay, cool. No penalty. We're still in service. I dislike how they commit to an aesthetic and then they try to justify it afterwards. I feel like Star Wars tried the same thing, it just doesn't work. I don't know about that. That doesn't quite seem fair. But I think you'd need to explain what you mean by an aesthetic. Because, I mean, visually, Destiny and Halo are usually pretty good. They might be minor shifts between the games, but otherwise, they're, you can look at a picture of Destiny 2 and say, yeah, that's from Destiny, and you can look at a picture from Destiny 1 and say, yeah, that's from Destiny, and never be like, what game is that from? Alright, let's look at the planning room. Okay, it looks like the AI is just flying this one. I'm just going to let time pass until we reach an actual combat mission for us, and then we'll change gears to Arma. Ah, yep. That would be what we were going to do, so it'd be a bomber intercept mission. Alright. We won't fly this right now. We're going to go ahead and change gears. But next Friday, we're going to pick this up. Anyways, in the moment, right now, I'm going to go ahead and start booting up Arma. Or maybe we'll play something else. I don't know. Let me think. Let me look at my Steam library. I mean, like how Halo is really just an alien invasion with later 21st century technology with a wider scope. Realistically speaking, the setting is simply ridiculous, and that's beyond the tech. What you're complaining about, and please don't take this the wrong way, to me is a bit nitpicky. Uh, a setting can be outlandish. It can be as outlandish as however outlandish it wants to be. I don't think you really should nail them for I don't think you should nail them for the visuals or for the general feel. The Spartan 1 program was discontinued due to the mental strain it put on its members, but Spartan 2 program turned its members into sociopaths. Uh, yeah. Yeah, it did. No, my issue is that they try to justify this. I don't I don't think they try to justify it per se. If you're like, what do you mean by justify? We could play Arma, but is there any other games we've got around that might be interesting? If there's a game that's around that I don't have installed but is short to download, I could boot that up, and that could be kind of neat. I'm not seeing much. How big is Space Marine? It should take 15 minutes to download. That's not too bad. Yeah, let's... Oh, that might mess up the stream, though. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Yeah, and it's already ballooned up to 33 minutes. Never mind. Never mind, never mind. We'll just go Arma. For example, the reason why the Spartans are so good is that they are genetically engineered, and the reason why there are so few of them is they can only be selected by certain few individuals. And the reason they are so strong is because they're trained since childhood. There are all reasons to justify to the player why he's so strong, but they're all ridiculous. I mean, the problem is you kind of have to have a reason. There has to be somewhere a reason, and it might sound ridiculous, but I don't know. To me, that feels like a really strange, and I don't mean to sound really kind of hard on it, but it's just I have a hard time finding that to be a very valid criticism. First of all, the actual origins of the Spartans is never discussed in the games, like at all. You're talking apocrypha from like the books. I have to update the stream. Hmm. I don't know. Given the the general idea of the Spartan program in the lore is that it's effectively a eugenics program with a lot of steroids. The Fall of Reach book came out before C? Did it? I didn't know that. It must have come out when it was being hyped up. Halo was put back a couple of times, so it's possible that that's what happened. So the Spartan 2 program was effectively a eugenics program. And you know this, you understand how it all works. I don't think, given the technology they were talking about, it's too outlandish, really. Using the steroids and picking from children and having very strict genetic screening, that's all stuff you could kind of see happening using technology from today if you were to just kind of push it forward a couple of decades or a couple of years, centuries. Your complaint is that the tech is not outlandish. Okay. Alright, then I'm definitely not understanding what the complaint is. I'm sorry. Oh, crap. Got the wrong profile on. There we go. What do I want to do today? I think I'll do some challenges. Some firing drills. We can talk while we do the firing drills. Your issue is that it's secretive. I don't understand what you mean by it's secretive. You've definitely lost me now. I don't understand. Okay, if humanity is being genocided and if the Spartans are your most effective weapons, you don't try to hamstring your attempts to make more. You make that stuff public and try to put everything into making more Spartans. Okay, if I remember correctly, there was actually a few in-canon reasons for this. And this is kind of a... This is the thing, though. I don't like arguing for in-canon reasons because, ultimately every decision made in a story is not because the story has its own life, it's because the writers will it to be so. But looking at the explanations of the story as the writers chose, the reasons why the Spartan program remained private and secret is that, one, they did try to make more Spartans. That was the Spartan 3 program. Two, trying to make more Spartan 2s in the vein of Spartan 2s was difficult, if not impossible, given that, one, you're losing colonies where most of these Spartans 2s came from, like left, right, and center, to the Covenant. Two, it was a massive economic drain. Like the Spartan 2 program was done when the UNSC was just dealing with insurrectionists and was relatively economically doing well. And three, again, they were making more Spartans. The Spartan 3 program was a new Spartan program. It was done by the UNSC Army instead of the Navy, but it was basically the same thing. Just And the Spartan 3s, if I remember correctly, the books and Reach kind of clash on this, I want to say, but I think Spartan 3s were either military volunteers or orphans of the war. I'd have to look it up to make sure. But it's not like the Spartan program just ceased to be. The Spartan 2 program stopped because you had your crop of Spartan 2s, and then when the war started, the big Covenant War started, they started making Spartan 3s. And one of the reasons also why the Spartan 2 program remains so heavily classified, well, I mean, first of all, the Spartans were public knowledge by the start of the war. They were hero figures, so they weren't secret. Spartans were known about, and the running thing with Spartan 2s was that Spartans never die. They're only ever listed as missing in action. Furthermore, the Spartan 2s were effectively assassins for the UEG. Their initial purpose was not to fight Covenant. They were made to kill insurrectionists and cell leaders and put down uprisings. They were effectively the perfect killing machines for the state. And let me be clear: the games never really discuss this, but in the books, the UEG they're fascists. They're effectively a fascist state. In Ender's Game, if you need genetically enhanced child soldiers, you just make it a public program to have every family present a child to be tested to qualify for a class of a Spartan. Since the only issue from Spartan 1s were mental issues, which they didn't care about for Spartan 2s due to the war, that program can easily be re-implemented. Again, Spartan 3s, I'm pretty sure, did pull from children. I don't know about how much the public knew about how Spartans were made. I don't think they ever really knew. One of the reasons I think why they didn't say how Spartans were made was because if the public knew that the UEG and the UNSC Navy were kidnapping children, making flash clones, and having those flash clones die, yeah, the public never knew. Right, but if the public did knew, I think the assumption was the UEG's on unsteady ground. The insurrectionists have very legitimate points against the current government, and if that was to become public knowledge, there'd be an uprising. I think was the idea. This was in also these guys, the public would riot, and the UEG are not good people. The games phrase them, show them as good because it's a war for, yeah, this would be true. But it's not like the insurrectionists ceased to exist during the Covenant War either. There were still insurrectionists. It's just whenever the Covenant showed up, either they just pretended the other didn't exist or they would team up. Don't forget the mod pack for tomorrow. I probably saw my DM, but I told you to need to remind you. Yeah, I'm going to have to set up Swifty and look into that. Thanks, Benot. During the War of the Covenant, you don't say to the public you're getting everything handled when you're losing left and right. Well, they kind of did, though. Again, it's the UNS or the UEG. You need literally everything they've got. This would make sense if the UEG was a democratic state, but it wasn't. They are a top-heavy dictatorship, effectively, or a military junta. As far as I understand it, EarthGov was not very high on representation, violently put down protests. So it's going to refer to suppression of information. Or it's going to, and I think towards the end of the war, sure, when everything was closing on Earth, that policy changed. But early on, they didn't talk much. I'd have to brush up on my Halo lore. Also, this isn't Moscow. I've been javated. You missed Moscow. We switched to Arma. Even Stalin called on the Russian people to say they were all going to die if things didn't change real soon, if they didn't recall correctly. That's true, he did, but the Russians lived a lot closer to Germany than, it's one thing to say, hey, the Germans are closing in on Moscow and it's a distance of a few thousand kilometers, whereas in Halo, you've got thousands of light years, and you've also got the Cole Protocol, which is making it actually rather difficult for the Covenant to ever find human colonies. So you had the room for obfuscation. Ultimately, though, from a top-down perspective, everything in Halo happens because of writing contrivances. And personally, I don't really have any bother. I'm not bothered by the writing contrivances of Halo. It makes sense for what the UEG really is. a secretive state that would violently put down protests, that violently puts down any kind of dissent, that is more than willing to have eugenics programs to make its own special breed of assassins. The kind of incongruities you're talking about makes sense for what is effectively a dictatorship that is run on fear and is run on power and is run on propaganda. They tried to justify why the player character is so strong. They didn't want the justification of the fact that setting a relatively non-militarized culture based on the 21st century. So they must write themselves into loops to try and make this work. I mean, maybe, maybe not. I don't know if I would call the EarthGov non-militarized. But, I mean, ultimately we're going to disagree. This is going to be a matter of opinion. But to me, I don't really have that problem. I think the Spartan program made sense for what the UNSC as they described it was and what the UEG was as they described it. I think them keeping it secret was a very rational decision on behalf of the characters in this story, as written by the writers, who don't want scandal, who know that scandal might sink the whole ship entirely, and then when the Covenant War shows up, you've got a wonderful distraction. And you've also got the internal politics of the UNSC alone, where I mean the Spartan 3 program was basically done because a colonel in the UNSC Army was pinching stuff and scientists and material from the Navy. Like that was an interbranch rivalry to the point where neither really knew what the other was doing because it wasn't a very coherent force. It was not. It was not unified. The games don't show this. The games don't show this at all. The games are much more cut and dry. Covenant bad, UNSC good, and it can do that A because it's a game, and it's B it's a very simple game, and C the Covenant when they're the focus and they're the main antagonist. I mean, it's hard to look at the flaws in the UNSC in a game where you're fighting for the survival of humanity as a whole against a omnicidal, xenocidal force. So they don't throw in those details really. But the books do, and the books come at the problem from a very they come at the universe from a very different angle. And that's probably also where a lot of the incongruities that you're talking about are from. Because the games are approaching this from a cut and dry, stop the Covenant. The entire Spartan lore is dependent on character incompetence, different factions fighting each other when literal genocide is on the line. I hate to tell you this, Quinn, but human history is nothing of a long litany of things like this. Even during the German invasion of the Soviet Union, there was gross incompetence. There was a lot of back and forth. Hell, HBO's Chernobyl. I just saw that documentary all the way through. The Soviets were dealing with during the Chernobyl crisis the possibility of the destruction of all life in Russia due to the nuclear disaster. If it had gone to its worst case scenario, you would have annihilated all of that area. And you had people denying how bad the problem was, not understanding how bad the problem was, willing to lie or kill to shift the blame away from them. This is a very realistic thing. I think what you're looking at is you're expecting these people to act perfectly rational in all things. They're not. Even when utter destruction is on the line, people will default to seeing their own interests first. And we've seen that throughout history. So I have to disagree with you. I don't think that's incongruous at all. I think that's very fitting with human nature. We can look at annihilation and be focused only on ourselves. It's our greatest weakness as a species. For the record, also, I heavily recommend HBO's Chernobyl. It is not perfectly historically accurate, but it is very, very close, and it captures both the feel and the general motivations of the characters involved. It's explained in such a manner that anyone can understand it. It was used to prevent a very obvious solution to the Covenant invasion, which is to get better soldiers, a better solution. There's no obvious reason why there should be conflict over this. I find it foolish. I also want to say that there was an in-canon reason why they didn't just restart the Spartan 2s exactly as Spartan 2s. I think it was the material drain, because a single Spartan was worth, like, an entire ship or something like that, and the UNSC just preferred to have more ships. Again, the Spartan 3 program does exist. They were trying to make more Spartans, and they were going about it, I guess, from the same angle. It was, which is why they went with Spartan 3s. Yeah, Spartan 3s, which were cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. It is the way it is because the writers chose it to be, and I personally think it works for me, and I understand it doesn't work for you. I just don't necessarily agree. I'm sorry. I hope I haven't been too much of a jerk about it, because I like this conversation. I like talking about Halo lore. It's a series that means a lot to me still. To be fair, though, even if it was pure like cost benefit analysis, not even perfectly appropriate. Well, thanks, and you have too. But like, I think from the UNSC's point of view, if I was in their chair, I think I would go for more ships instead of more Spartans because the UNSC, I think from pretty much all of the perspectives of the canon, have always won against the Covenant on the ground. They've usually like always won. They've just wiped the floor because the Covenant will approach with like wave tactics. They'll approach it dumb, and generally the UNSC wins on the ground. But where the UNSC lost was in space. They wanted a setting what I called an aesthetic, and the authors didn't want the lore to interfere with that. Yeah, but I think that I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's a fair criticism, but at the same time, you kind of can't have the books. You well, okay, well that's kind of that's the thing. If the books run contrary to the games, then you can never have them overlap because you'd effectively have two different realities running at the same time. Like, I don't know. I don't see how you could have a severe mismatch between the games and the books and have them pull from each other and have them be part of the same universe. At that point, you're basically doing your own thing.
Discipline and get to the start of the course. Select rule set. Training rules. 3, 2, 1, go! Most courses are composed of
That is fair, but this could easily be fixed by
style navigation.
changing the setting. Don't make it a 21st century sedentary, non-militarized culture.
Dependency
Uh,
rules. You'll need to engage
okay. The thing about that though is I feel like by the Halo games themselves, the EarthGov was fairly heavily militarized, and arguably was heavily militarized the entire time.
just one for now. Clear. This target appears later and does not stay up. Missing results in penalties.
Because like EarthGov was effectively a police state.
Targets appearing at different times. Clear.
So I would say it was heavily militarized the whole time.
And multiple targets at once here. Good one. Checkpoint clear.
But I haven't read Contact Harvest in a long time, so I don't remember what a pre-Covenant UNSC looks like.
Targets can move too. Move on. Your final time is affected by the penalties you've incurred and the bonuses you've won. Cutting corners isn't always faster. These targets trigger yet more targets. Move on.
I love this sound mod; it's so good.
Visible scoring zones introduce a speed versus accuracy trade-off by way of bonuses. Accuracy bonus. Move on. Score! Find and shoot optional targets to win bonuses. Found one.
I'd go after these discs, but they're just too hard to.
Move on. Got it.
Yeah, part of the problem for me in this argument is that I just don't remember the books too well. It's been a while.
In this case, use your rifle.
I just know that the UNSC was not a great place, or the UEG was not a very great place.
Checkpoint clear. Move on. Next.
That was a bit sloppy of me.
Next. Good aim. Courses sometimes introduce shooting boxes at some checkpoints. Engaging targets from these boxes nets the best results. Clear. Good aim. Next.
Which I mean is how would they respond to learning the government is kidnapping our to make super soldiers when they should have been asking how will humanity on the brink of extinction react to having their children turned into super soldiers? You know, when you put it that way, that is kind of a fair argument. Um, I think ultimately the writers had a choice between having the UNSC attempt to spin this into a good thing in kind of that Starship Trooper style, where it's, you know, service guarantees citizenship, just play off the horrors of our government as a good thing, or you try to pull a Soviet Union and just keep pretending whatever happened didn't happen. They just chose the second option. But I think I see what you're getting at, and yeah, that would have been a very interesting alternate take on the Halo universe, where the UNSC just kind of does an about face and says, yes, look at all these things we're doing for you. That would be kind of an interesting version of the story. I'm not sure how it would change things. And Kiryu Kazuma is currently carrying pizza around.
Or taking a knee. Be sure to keep an eye on the checkpoint briefing when you study and memorize the course. We'll be switching weapons again for this lane.
I'm in the box. Let me shoot the dude. Game, are you okay? Game? Crouching, pistol, okay. Wow, okay, alright. What? Forget your lane. Oh, that's right, this one's bugged. That. We'll move on to a different one.
And there's the finish.
That challenge failed, yeah, sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think that would be an interesting alternate take on the Halo universe if the UNSC just decided to do that 180 and just say, yes, we did the right thing after all. You should be congratulating us. And I could see them doing it. I think the decision really depends on how tenuous things were for the insurrectionists. I have other critiques, but they all basically revolve around that, not wanting lore to affect the setting, even when I think it should logically. For a series like Star Wars, you can get by simply ignoring those contradictions. How do lightsabers works? When you address them, you nearly put out a flaw. Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you. I think Star Wars is a different case, though, because, and I've always maintained this position, Star Wars is a setting that should never be explained. You can go into detail when you want to for this specific adventure, sure, but I don't think there should be like a hard and fast canon for Star Wars. I don't think there should really be anything. If anybody asks you, how does X work? The answer should be, because it does. Because Star Wars is 1920s camp. It's 1930s camp. It's 1940s camp. It's not even really science fiction. It's science fantasy. It's really more fantasy with a science fiction layer of paint over it. Never explained anything. The Force works because it does. However, somebody did bring up a very interesting point to me about one of the things about the prequels that I think up until this point I would normally give a bad rap, and that's midi-chlorians. Now hear me out. Midi-chlorians as a concept are bad, but as a story tool, they're very useful in showing off why the Jedi are wrong. Effectively, the Jedi in the prequel series are the real villains of Star Wars. And I mean, not really, because there's Emperor Palpatine, who's objectively evil, but I mean, the Jedi needed to go. They were bad. And the whole midi-chlorian thing is, as dumb as it is, and I kind of wish they'd done it better, it is kind of interesting how the Jedi go around saying, oh, you're not good enough for us. You don't have the right blood. The Jedi are eugenicists in the prequels, and I think that's really interesting. But beyond that, I think a lot of the problem with Star Wars is trying to explain everything else. I think if you introduce a concept into Star Wars, it should be for that adventure or to make a very specific point and then nothing else. Don't explain the galactic economy unless your adventure involves the galactic economy. Don't explain the inner workings of a specific blaster pistol unless it's vital to the continuation of the story. Yeah, just leave it to the imagination. If it's not relevant to the story or the point you're trying to make, don't say anything. The Millennium Falcon is a ship Could be one of a billion ships like it, could be the only one in the universe. Who cares what a YT-1300 is? It doesn't matter. How did the Rebel Alliance form? Unless the story is about the forming of the Rebel Alliance, it doesn't matter. Who needs to know? There's rebels and there's an empire. Go at it. It paints a very bad picture of extended universes. Yeah, I think it should. I think extended universes have a tendency to over-explain, and I think you're right in criticizing Halos, because I think it does also over-explain a little. But I think for settings that are supposed to be a lot more realistic and a lot less campy, that's a little bit more forgivable. But for something like Star Wars, which is camp, and even, and this is me killing my darlings a little here, even something like Star Trek, which is in its way, it's just Star Trek has always been 1960s camp, just through different lenses. Star Trek doesn't need to be explained. You don't need to know how a warp core works, unless the story demands that you do. But, like, you've got these massive technical encyclopedias that I admittedly loved reading as a kid. But why do they exist? Why do all these details need to matter? It works because we say it does. And I don't know. I think it's in human nature to want to explain every little facet of something. But sometimes it just gets in the way. Sometimes things just work because they do. And that's fine.
3, 2, 1, go! Excellent. Clear. Good aim. Score. Checkpoint clear. Move on. Bonus
Going this way, I think.
Got it. Move on. Excellent. Accuracy bonus. Crouch. Clear. Clear.
Alright, doing good.
Checkpoint clear. Move on. Clear.
Alright. We're making good time. I've been on Marvel's case recently, but I think I can give them this. The MCU doesn't explain the technicalities, it just explains the story. It just tells the story. Yeah, that's actually something I really like about the MCU, is that I think it actually improves upon the comics because there's relatively so few movies, there's such little content in the MCU, that a lot of things just happen because we say it does. Whereas the comics, which have existed for decades and decades and decades and decades, every little facet, every minutia has been explained at some point or another, and just it's like so dumb. It's so dumb. And this is something that bothers me about comics in general, is that there's no such thing as an insignificant character anymore. Like, okay, the Spider-Man comics I grew up with, the Ultimate Spider-Man, which I'm still very fond of. They're still my absolute favorite version of Spider-Man. It has this problem too. After a while, all of the characters who normally do not matter start to have these like secret meanings, and there's secret, like, oh yeah, like Peter Parker's dad. The character no longer has a role in the story; there becomes a personality, not a character. I think I understand what you mean, but I mean more like you can't have a character who's just a normal Joe anymore, who does things and gets drawn into this or is related to the hero, but otherwise is not very special. Everybody has, like, I don't even think a prop. You can have characters who are interesting, but I mean they don't have to be like part of Shield or some secret agent or something. That's a problem I have with comics, is that everybody's working for somebody and nobody's like, "Hey, I work at the Starbucks," and that's it. Everybody's like, "Oh, their dad works for Hydra. My uncle works for Shield. His brother was a Shield agent in the 1960s." It's like, what? How do all these people work for these things? Why can't you just be normal? Why can't... And it misses the point, too, of what I would think the great point of Spider-Man, that was something that Into the Spider-Verse hit on, is that heroes are heroes because they are average people doing extraordinary things. And yeah, they've got superpowers and all that, but for superheroes, but the regular hero is just an average person who does an extraordinary thing because they feel like it's the right thing to do. Not because they've got this great lineage, not because they work for some agency that's super special awesome. They just they are put in the right situation at the right time and they decide to do the right thing, and that's what makes a hero. And I'm kind of really sick of everybody being like, "Oh, we're chosen ones one way or another." Anyways, let's keep shooting. Well, I get increasingly passionate about Spider-Man. I have to make up the points I lost. Can I switch back to my rifle yet, game? No. Oh wow, I didn't think I'd get him. Alright, we're good. Let's try that one for score. And then we'll move on to the next one. Expanded universes turn characters designed for a specific time, place, and purpose into toys really to be played with at will. Yes. Yes. That I agree with wholeheartedly. And that's something that bothers me. It can be fun, but it's also detrimental to a narrative. I think where expanded universes should be used to their fullest is to tell stories that are not relevant or even remotely attached to the main story, to whatever the main narrative is. I think if you want a good expanded universe story, it should be about Joe, who is not only off stage left, but he's on an entirely different continent having his own adventure in the same universe. And you can throw in fun little details about that universe, but it has nothing to do with anything. It's just a fun little story in the same setting. I think that's where extended universes are the most good. But I don't need to have, the continued adventures of Luke Skywalker for the 99th time. Yeah, I got that one through the wood. Yeah, I'm glad we agree on that. I can't stay. I missed the shot. As I hit shift, the Steam overlay popped up. I should probably stop spamming chat with your complaining. You're like the only person in chat, Quinn. You can spam as much as you want. Oh well, not quite enough to get a very good score, but we still did pretty good. At this point, I'm just shooting things for the heck of it. This has been fun though. I'm enjoying this. I stopped the challenge. Really? Did I, game? I think I scored below. Yeah, I did. Alright, so. Clear a smaller course before driving to a primary objective near the mines. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Pick your rule set. Training rules.
Why do they give me a suppressor? Jeez, okay. Well, that's been intense.
3, 2, 1, go! Good one. Good one.
Is that a zombie target? Next where? Where is next? Out this way? No, I'm missing ones. Ah, crap. Let's restart.
Let's try again. Training rules.
To bring this back to Destiny, however, I would say that I think my main problem with it, I feel like it's really just an expanded universe without a central story, which is a gameplay necessity due to it being an MMO, but that doesn't make me happy about it. I think I would agree with you. Destiny for a long time has had a very Monster of the Week issue, and while that can be fun, you're right that it doesn't really have a central story. I guess the closest thing to the central story was the one introduced not with the original game, but with Dark Below. The story of the Hive and the Hive Gods really has been the closest thing Destiny has had to a main story, as it's been the most persistent and, I guess, earth-shattering story element. So Dark Below had Crota, and then you skip over House of Wolves, and you've already skipped over the vanilla game. Yeah, that's been my favorite part. I agree. I really like the Taken the Hive storyline. I guess it's something they're hoping to fix. And that's something they're hoping to fix in year 3 in particular, with how the seasons play off of each other. But yeah, the story of the Hive has been the main story, more so than the actual like big story of the light versus the dark. So I don't know. I think they're trying to point us more towards the dark with Shadowkeep, whatever the darkness actually is. But yeah, I don't know.
Three, two, one, go! Good one. Good one. Clear.
God, that guy was a bit annoying.
Next. Score!
Next where? Next where? In here, upstairs.
Good one. Good one.
Is there anything else to shoot? No. Yes.
Not clear yet.
Not clear yet.
Clear yet.
What? There's nothing else to shoot, game.
Clear.
Alright, never mind.
Check targets.
There's what?
Good one. Next.
Sorry, it doesn't help that you feel like they kill characters for no good reason. The speaker probably should have died, having lost his role in the new canon, but I don't get why Cade had to die. I think Cade had to die to try to wrench the story's tone from the more loosey-goofy year 1 to a much more serious and mature. And I guess you're right, it's kind of the cheapest and easiest way to get a tonal shift is just to kill somebody. But, I mean, it did work. The game feels significantly darker now. Actually, them killing Cade has been a very significant through line for the story of the Vanguard, who, in like all of the lore entries about whenever the Vanguard's interacting on its own, they're very confused. They don't know what to do anymore. They miss their friend. They're not even sure if the Vanguard should exist anymore, and that's been interesting. So they've made the most of it. It's not just a cheap emotionality play. They made something of it. But yeah, Cade having to die was an interesting decision by Bungie. I think part of the reason was also financial, not financial, but due to logistics. Nolan North was just, or not Nolan North. Nathan Fillion was just busy with his new role, so he couldn't do the role really anymore. So they just had to get rid of him. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot his name too, but I did. Yeah, it's with an F. It's Fillion or something like that.
Clear.
Okay, so now we deviate right.
Good one.
Bunny.
Point isn't clear.
What do you mean it's not clear? There's nothing else to shoot. There's nothing here. Right? I'm not... Bugs.
Let's try.
Oh my god, I can snipe the restart from all the way over here. Well, let's abort. Let's do a... I don't know. I might be getting close to yeah, Bugs Bunny. What's the blue course of fire? Close quarters, environments possible, no shoots. Red is specific. Orange is marksman, sharpshooter's weapon stabilization. That'd be kind of cool. Artificial hostage situation, the ghost hotel. That sounds interesting. Let's do that artificial hostage situation. That sounds neat. Asked on this on the topic of Bungie. Okay.
Pick your rule set. Training.
When was the last time you remember a story that combined the aliens and the eldritch? You don't just mean alien gods. Hmm. I guess 40K really has a lot of. I mean, even the Tyranids are kind of like combining alien invasion with Eldritch horror. I would say the Tyranids from Warhammer 40K come pretty close. And I mean, obviously there's chaos itself, but the Tyranids have some like real Lovecraftian influences to them. So I would go with the Tyranids. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
3, 2, 1. Go! Score! Accuracy bonus. Target missed. He got you.
What target? What are you talking?
Clear.
Oh,
He got you.
let's restart that.
Range is clear. Training.
I know there's a lot of franchises do this now. They now have aliens, humans, the ancient supreme aliens, and the Eldritch horror. I was wondering which ones may have mixed up the formula. I don't know. That's a very good question.
3, 2, 1. Go!
Okay, so we push.
Accuracy bonus. He got you. Move on. Target missed.
Pause the.
Score! Next checkpoint. Score! Move on. Checkpoint clear. Move on.
Kind of evil where they hide these things, man.
Move on.
Got it. I'm gonna reload before the next checkpoint.
Move on.
Okay, down the stairs.
Good one.
Is there another one I'm missing? Oh,
Next checkpoint.
StarCraft, Mass Effect, Halo, all these follow the basic structure. This doesn't make them bad. I was just wondering if something different. That's a good question. Part of the problem, I think, is the upping of the stakes that comes with these things. As franchises go on, you kind of need to have something else, and you eventually start playing Lovecraft. Um, straightforward alien invasion game. Uh, hmm. I mean, technically Reach, but that's part of Halo. Uh, ODST also part of Halo. That doesn't count. Maybe the original Gears of War. Gears of War 2 is when things started to get a little bit more Lovecraftian, though there was never really any alien gods in the original three Gears of War games. It's really just an alien invasion without the Eldritch Horror. Wait, what are you asking for? You're asking for ones that may have mixed up the formula. I don't know.
Good one. Checkpoint isn't clear. Too slow.
Oh, jog on. Where am I going, game? Left down here. Gears of War just follows the formula without the Supreme Ancient Aliens. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of game.
Good one.
Am I clear?
He got you.
No.
Next.
I just looked up some Terraria stuff, and they have an evil cultist summon an alien invasion that ends with an elder god coming to the world. Yeah, I've not played Terraria, so I'm not super familiar with how that game works.
Good one. Good one.
Thought I got that guy. Guess not.
He got you.
Really?
Target missed.
Yeah, yeah.
Clear.
Let's support this. Which led to this stupid Garfield skit with the psychic aliens who don't act like. What? That was a Garfield skit? Fuck it, we're driving cars. Let's drive some carts. I don't know that Garfield skit, man.
1. Go.
Yeah, it's a real Monaco.
Nice. Splendid. Outstanding.
Alright, we got that one pretty good. We GTA now. I think it was from one of the shows. Oh, yeah, well, the Garfield TV show was weird, man. Alright. Yeah, I got tired of running and shooting. So instead, I shall drive carts in my hardcore military sim game. Best DLC. 10 out of 10 would rebuy again. I don't know the track. Just have to say this is the worst Formula 1 game. Ah, Bourgeois. Where's this game taking me, man? Ah! This all seems highly illegal. Technically, the road has been closed off. Holy crap, this is a long course. Wow, this is the finish? Jesus. Okay, it just got me thinking about the Alien Invasion Eldritch Horror tropes were one and the same. Seem to have drifted apart. Yeah, yeah, I think you got a pretty real case for that. Okay, I need to get a 1 minute 44 time to beat Panat? God. Split my time. I have to watch the media. Come. Okay, wow, I just took down that light pole with my face, apparently. Wait, Panat's number 71 in the world? What? Oh, come on. I didn't see where it was turning. Bugger. Yeah, I'd like to have my helmet on. Actually, do I have a helmet on? I do.
Go!
What is that turn? I just can't brake. Who designed this physics engine? A toad? Something that doesn't have the capability of understanding the laws of physics? Alright, let's try... Okay. Yeah, okay. Yes, something that has actual, like, racing lines. Yes, please, God. Inject that into my veins.
Go!
Bah! Oh, come on. It doesn't understand. It's capable of programming an ATV simulator. Arma's physics engine has always been a little bit wonky. By a little, I mean a lot. What? What? Okay, you know what? No, we're gonna drive an ambulance instead. Or we could drive a tank. Let's drive a tank. It sounds like a lot more fun.
Go!
Oh God! Who designed this course? Oh God, I was supposed to go that way. Watch the house! Really? Yeah, we're not repeating this one. I didn't like this one. Wow. Yep, nope, we're gonna not do that one. Because I got the tank stuck. Bloody tank. Alright, drive a tank down a hill. What's the worst that could happen? Exactly the thing that just happened is the answer, by the way. Okay, so drive the thing down the hill as fast as possible. Can do. I think we'll stop after this. Restart. We're good! You're asking me why I ran over the tree and not over the tree, not like through 3 other trees at the same time while moving at like something. Oh god! Man, that's some hardcore concrete. Oh, come on! What is this physics engine? Where's the checkpoint, game? Yeah, I know, right? Oh, screw you. So catty about it too. Penalty. Come on. Oh, please tell me that's not trying to kill me. Wow. Finally killed the top. Alright, everyone. I suffered a terrible accident. Have I? Really? I think that's enough Arma silliness for me tonight. It's been good, everyone. We'll be meeting back up tomorrow. I am thinking 8 or 9 p.m. To play through the rest of, or at least a good chunk of Ace Combat 4. So, feel free to join me then, and until then, have a good night.